I do not have my level set right, and nor did it want to cooperate with me. Anywho, how are you folks doing? I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get it working correctly. I'm a little off tonight, a little tired. It's been a long day, but happy to be here. See whoever shows on up and say howdy. Let's try this again. See if it's a little less intrusive and actually the right track. That would be great. Let's see. That's the right track. Yes, sir. Hopefully this one isn't blowing you people away like it was the last one was to me. My speaker system's probably a little set, a little loud at the moment. There we go. All right. I will be right back, folks. Thank you so much for swinging on by and checking it on out. Put questions on into chat if you have any. I am low on topics tonight. It's kind of a usual thing with me, and I can usually stretch it, but tonight, a little bit more so than usual. We're gonna go over a couple things, but anywho, I'll get to those here in a minute or two. Thank you so much, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, as I was saying just moments ago, a little light on content. I'm gonna give you a quick update on number two, Jack Iron Steel Cowboy number two. Printer proof is in transit. Wasn't there at the post office today. Hopefully, it's there in the morning. And then hopefully I'll have something more to say about that either on here or well, certainly on social media platform. So I'm looking forward to that. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be Monday, and if it's not any of those days, something really went wrong. So wish me luck on that front. Wish us all luck. I'm really excited to get the print copy in hand and see what it looks like. We learned a lot about the printing process and about compiling files correctly and filling out content and there's a world of difference between issue 1 and 2, and I can't wait to see it physically manifest in my hands. And I'm sure all our backers are at that point at the very least, and probably to be the kindest. Um, so beyond that, the only other thing I have really to talk about tonight is once again the upcoming launch of Cactus Coyote on July 29th. It's going to be hitting Indiegogo. I'm going to go ahead and switch on over if this worked right. Wrong place, Cody. There you go. Cactus Coyote. Uh, Last week I slightly mischaracterized the character, only because I wasn't really thinking into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and give you a revised pitch on this shifty and shady character. Cactus Coyote is a member of an alien race that has a unique ability to shapeshift, and to that end, one of what you find out in IronVerse are the four main evils. The scientifically minded one ended up utilizing their unique body compositions for a toxic waste dump and processing and storage. So that's how he kind of started his life. He escapes. He gets himself free. We don't find this past that I'm talking about for a little bit. You'll meet Cactus as he's established himself as a unique being in the universe, the only one of his kind that's like this, really. Um, I'm interested in seeing how Dollar Coins explores that. I've read he's done 10 scripts or 10 issues worth of scripts. Um, and of course together we did the 40-page manga. So there's no question we believe in the character. It's very hard to explain the value of him without reading through what it is and what it's manifesting into. I think the character design's kind of fun. The ideas and abilities he'll explore, and the universe he exists in is great. It's the other side of the coin. Whereas Jack Irons is where you can connect to humanity and humanity's role in Ironverse comics. Cactus Coyote is everything else. The universe around what shaped Jack, and is going to be one of the many paths in the further storytelling devices of Ironverse comics. But we got to get there. And I think each individual title that we're working on is more than worth their own weight as standalones, as they should be. Each one of the creating teams is doing their best to provide a very high quality, high concept, unique ride. I'm really excited to go through all of them. Cactus Coyote is just our second step, or third step if you're going by issues, and this particular would be fourth step, I guess, if you count the manga. So we're moving forward pretty quick, and I am super excited for Cactus. So as you can see here, the artist for Cactus Coyote is Andrea Boscolo. He's if you folks are familiar with the Purity Sin gaming channel, he's done a lot of artwork for her. She helped connect us. But he's also done a lot of professional work in the animation industry, so that's why we get this nice Looney Tunes-esque feel to everything. Um, just a great guy to work with, from what I've heard with Cactus, and for how well the work's been coming together so far, and how much personality he adds to it. Finding the right line artist for a book, it basically finding the right team to artistically express your idea in a book is pretty much for a comic is pretty much the most important thing. The script can be adjusted a lot easier. The style, the story even can be adjusted a lot more than the consistent style that you'll be presenting, and it's got to be attractive and unique and fun, or at least interesting or intriguing. So yeah, I think Cactus has all of that. Honestly, it's as I say, shapeshifter garbage disposal. currently, when you'll find him, he's carved himself a niche in the galaxy as one of the best finders and retrievers and movers of objects. You need something found and retrieved. Cactus, if you can find him, can probably get it for you. If you need something smuggled from point A to point B, he's a coyote. He smuggles things. He's not, as I was saying earlier, I miscategorized last Friday. I used the term thief. He would never use the term thief. He is a legitimate businessman, and he is proud of the work he does. I'm super excited to keep showing, because he's also more of a super power. His power range of what makes him his kind of unique part of all of this is the shape shifting bits. I'm really excited to put this forward, because he's got a very manga setup to him, how the powers work and how that manifests. Excited to show that. I'm gonna go through and show another preview image. There we go. I actually led right into this perfectly. For instance, one of his shape-shifting abilities. You'll see on this previous page, he's kind of showing this little old school like quarter popper outer that you'd see at like old arcades and such. I don't know if everybody's gonna know those, but retro is somewhat of what we're doing at IronVerse, so I think it adds to the flavor greatly. He swallows these coins to give him different shapes and abilities. This is Zoot Suit Coyote. It allows him to wire himself into things that he has stored in that big Snoopy's doghouse, Doctor Who time machine of a gut. In the manga, which is free to read, on Tapas, just Cactus Coyote. They'll maybe just look up the shiftiest and shadiest Cactus Coyote. Let me see. Okay, it'll just follow whatever I'm on. That's how that works. Okay, this is fine. There's nothing here you don't need to see. You're gonna see some analytics if you guys are interested. You can pause and look. Yeah, 3 cents, 3 whole cents. Freaking awesome though. You're earning passively. But yeah. Go check this out right here. I'm gonna grab the link. That was the main reason I was doing that. You can really get a flavor, because pitching Cactus. That's not even how he came to be, honestly. It wasn't just a pitch. It was a natural growth of a perfect addition. So go ahead and link that for you folks. Please go check it out. The double page spreads sadly had to be adjusted up and down, so I don't know if they're too easily readable. But you can snag the full 40 page issue, manga issue from our Patreon or our Subscribe Star if you throw $1 down, and you don't even have to stick around if you don't want it. Scooby-Doo's doghouse. Did I say Scooby-Doo's? I meant oh god. I meant Snoopy. I hope I said Snoopy. Snoopy or Doctor Who's the TARDIS. Whatever. It's just a bigger room inside of something that should be smaller. It's a very old fantasy idea. The Wizard's Cave, a bunch of things like that. I really appreciate the idea. Dollar Coins found a great way to turn this character on its head and make it really neat. So in the manga, he wires himself. Spoilers, but go read it. Pause it and go read it. I'd rather you go read this than listen to me. Because the artistry Dollar Coins put into this too, it's really unique. I love his artwork. I think we probably will end up printing this. He put so much effort into this, and it came out wonderfully. It's very manga. And I did the letters, and they're all right. He did the word boxes, so I literally just did the letters, but readable. I did a lot of editing, for better and for worse at some points, maybe. I don't know. It's up to the reader and dollar coins to really tell me. But yeah, here we go. I'm still looking for the part. So he's trying to escape. A Anu Confederation marshal, Lieutenant Lucky Star. She's got Lucky Eye Catch. Excuse me, Lieutenant Lucky Eye Catch. It's an anime reference, if I remember right. Yeah, so he's got to outrun in his little tin bucket ship. Let me see if I can find it, show it to you. A little circle. Yeah, this little pod thing. Is there a better? There's a little shot over there. There it is. This little kind of almost Capsule Corp, Kira Toriyama looking little ship. I freaking love. So he's trying to escape a top of the line, the galactic governments, besides all the evil out there, besides the four's evil anyway. The galactic government's best shit, and he's getting caught up, as you can see. They're gonna catch his ass. Reference to something else, and then of course here he goes. So this is his first. This is the first example of one of his changes. Um, he uses the coins. In fact, in this case, he's combining 3 coins together for something real special, an Excelsior coin. And he goes ahead and munches that, and then boom, he's Zoot Suit Coyote, as you see in this. Zoot Suit Coyote can be wired into. It literally just smashes into his spine and into his gut, and then into the stuff in his gut. And he's wired in on here, and then he just blam. So it's got a a top of the line Star Cruiser motor in a tiny little tin can, the Volkswagen Bug of of spaceships. And it's just, he did a great work on the paneling for the speed movements. You can tell there's a lot of love in the comedy, a lot of love and passion for this project. And that's really why I was so happy to not only incorporate it to what I was doing, but basically change what I was doing to something better because of the inclusion of this and the actual directions we could go with what he was doing. Just absolutely love IronVerse comics. This is a reference I hope people get. It's a panel reference to an anime, or not an anime, a manga. So I don't want to tell anybody what it is, but it's a very cool panel reference for his explosion where they think he's dead. And this also is too. And this one this also is right there. It's so cool. But I'm excited. We probably won't get a manga number 2, kind of sadly, because I love being able to go, off model and do these kind of silly jokes. This kind of stuff. Boink. Oh, it's so good. And then that's the other form that we preview, which is when he's all out of gas. That's the closest to his natural form he has left. I'm so excited for Cactus Coyote. July 29th, folks. We'll be launching the professional Western manga adaptation, or the Western comic adaptation of the manga, and actually starting the story, and we'll see how far we can get with it. If you folks can fund it, then really we are go for so much more in the future. So appreciate your thoughts, ideas, what have you. I'm gonna go ahead and check chat. I think I saw somebody new come on in. Let me see here. There's another page to go through here too, so I got a few more things to say. That's good. Chat. I'll probably pick that up, won't it? Oh no, it won't if I'm doing this. Oh, I do. Oh, a pup named Scooby Doo. You're the only one who remembers it well enough to remember he had a big doghouse like that. I don't remember that. I remember the groovy kind of jazzy intro. Scooby Doo Doo. I remember that very well. And I remember having fun. It was always the red herring was the red herring. They were not subtle with that at all. Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one who remembers it, but you're the only one who remembers Scooby-Doo's doghouse being like Snoopy's doghouse. That's very funny. Anyway, welcome, Gorgonite. Thanks for showing up. Thank you, Laguna, also. I know I acknowledged you in chat, but I didn't acknowledge you vocally. And thank you, as always, Laguna, for showing up. And, of course, providing a large amount of the soundtrack I use while doing these live streams. In fact, I noticed I didn't have that, but I'm talking, so I don't need it anyway. Alrighty. Well, thank you, folks. Again, thanks for being here. I'm going to move on to this next panel. I think it's eye candy. No, it's not. It's the facial expressions. Andrea Boscolo is, again, an animation artist, so you can tell he really has to put expression. And I think that's going to be a huge benefit to the adaptation. Cactus Coyote is he's a boisterous, very vivid character. He's very loud, yet very subtle. I don't know. You folks are gonna have to really read it. I'm hoping I'm piquing your interest because I'm excited and I want to see this. And the only way I'm gonna even be able to see it is if it gets funding. So I'm laying down my cash for this. So I hope you folks will too. the I've said this almost probably every live stream or so, but Steve Dillon of Preacher, Punisher, and Hellblazer fame, the artist, he has kind of a simpler style that's not always the most expressive, but he did have a catchphrase that or not a catchphrase, a word of advice that I heard that he gave Jimmy Palmiotti, who used to ink his stuff. Um, is that if you can nail the facial expression in the panel, then you nail the emotion, and you can most likely nail the panel and what it's trying to convey. Um, it's kind of funny because Steve Dillon's faces kind of end up looking very similar, but the emotion doesn't, and I think that's what he meant. And as you can tell, Andreas just freaking great at emotion. There's no lack of expression there at all. It's so good. I'm so excited. And okay, and then it's just our big pretty logo right there for Cactus. Oh, I'm not even showing you guys. I'm not even showing you guys. Yeah, I'm off. Here you go. So here's what I meant by expression when I was talking all that, and you were seeing just chat. Oh, well, that's why you come here. That's the beauty of being live. Um, mistakes can be made and then integrated. But here we go. As you can see, yeah, very expressive, very wonderful line art for the face, and there's a bunch of characters I'm really looking forward to that are in the manga that I really hope make the transition. I'm sure they will. One in particular I know will into the Western comic adaptation. But yeah. There we go, folks. I hope you're patient enough when you're seeing nothing to just wait a second or two that I caught on that I was not representing what I was talking about correctly. All right, so then here we go, just the big Cactus Coyote emblem by Zero Fox, our wonderful logo artist on both Jack Irons issues, and he's done quite a few others for other indie comics. Cactus actually has two from him. You'll see this one, which I really like. It's kind of the gambling gold, pretty leaf kind of theme to go with his gambling addiction. And then there's another, which you'll see here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This one right here, which is kind of, it gives me a Rick and Morty vibe because of this device, but this device is very important also to the comic. You'll see it used in the manga for a second. It's almost a unique device in the galaxy, almost as unique as Cactus himself. So, yeah, I'm super excited about it. I just love this title. I love IronVerse comics. Let's see. I guess now I can shift to where I was accidentally a minute ago. Back to chat. Let me go and look at chat. And I might cut it off here in about 7 minutes. I don't have much more to say. So are coins a finite resource that he has to collect or not? Oh, that's a wonderful question, Gordon. I thank you. Man, yeah, I remember last week too, you were Johnny on the spot with those questions, man. Thank you. So, as far as I can tell, it would only be limited by the material they're made out of. For instance, let me go to the manga real quick, and show you that where he's flipping the coins. Yada yada da da. He hacks up a smoke grenade in this comic too. There's so many good moments in this, dude. So many. I love it. For instance, that's palladium. Palladium is not a very finite resource. It's pretty rare, I think, as far as metals go, but it's not, in an entire galaxy, I doubt it would be so rare. Delirium, however, could be a very custom-made piece of metal or fusion of elements that, when he digests, cause that. And radium, of course, also not very rare. But yeah, I would assume it depends on what they're made out of. These are just 3 examples. I'm not sure how many coins, dollar coins, has in store. There's at least 4, I guess, technically, because then there's the Excelsior coin that he fuses those 3 into. So there's also that. There's combinations of coins. So really the shape shifting does rely on the coins quite a bit. There's another form you'll see down the line that allows him to eat. So on our Patreon, you can pay that $1. You'll get the finished manga in the best format we can present it to you at the moment. And you'll also get access to issue 1 and issue 2 storyboards before we started doing this finished version of the manga, which of course I'm not showing you again There you go. Here you go. I'm gonna do over here. There you go. I can't scroll up on that. I did it again. It's a long day, folks. Um, but if you go to either of those sites, and pay $1, you'll get access to the storyboards, which will actually give you 2 issues worth of content, just not polished. It's a storyboard, or what in a manga you call a name. Um, it just basically is a proof of concept, and that the layouts are good, and that the story works. That's what an anime is, and it's kind of what a storyboard usually is. But anywho, you can get more content and kind of understand more of what we're doing there if you'd like. I believe even Cactus on Twitter. Dooby dooby doo. I'm gonna switch off this time. Hopefully, I'll be reminded to switch back because I got to do some searching. But I'm gonna find. He posted quite a few of the storyboards, so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about, and why show don't tell is kind of the mantra of comics. So let me see if I can show you. Yeah, here we go. We'll start at the beginning of when he started posting them, and we'll go through, and you'll kind of see how they changed when we got to the manga. That's very cool. All right, here's some content. All right. So here we go. And of course, you can get a T-shirt if you want, but that's up to you. So part 1 of the original storyboard. So this is where it all kind of started, where he started pitching me it and really trying to make it work and do something with it. And you'll see kinda if you go through these and then you go to the actual finished manga. A lot made it across, but a lot was improved too. A lot was improved. He really he kind of figured out what was working and what wasn't working a lot faster than I do, which great asset to IronVerse Comics, I'll tell you. So yeah, Name storyboard. Somewhere in space. It even starts very similar. Except it's well, you'll see. This time it starts with a police chase. He's actually being chased by the Anu Confederation already. Instead of, as you saw in the manga, it actually takes a little bit to lead up to him getting caught. And this has started off with him getting caught, and he's all shifty and shady, so you can't really see what he is. So you're supposed to be interested. Of course, it's just handwritten. It's simple stuff just to get it done and get the proof of concept. But there he is taking off. It's very similar to the rest, but there's a change coming up here soon. In this one, instead of meeting in Spinaroonie Town, he's actually meeting in New Deadwood, which would have been a very a difficult thing to happen, but not impossible. In fact, there's an original one-page comic strip from last year where he kind of really first pitched the whole damn thing to me and to the world, because it was fan art that he put out. I'll have to find that too. Maybe I'll go back and find that. But we'll just keep going through this. But that's worth finding too. It's the only other time Cactus has been in New Deadwood so far, is in that little one-page panel where he's looking for Jack. Anywho, so he's in New Deadwood, Black Market Bazaar, and he's talking. He's getting a job. Right? From this fat dude on the chair, some fat cyberpunk kind of dude. It's a dangerous job. He doesn't really want to do it because he values his own hide, but he'll do it if it pays enough. And here we go. More. It's probably just a phone call or whatever. Oh yeah, it's info. He actually did some original storyboards also for Jack #2, just because he was bored. And some of the character designs, he was one of the first to try and really design the 4 horsemen. The 4 horrors of IronVerse Comics. And so you get a little bit of that. A lot of it actually did carry over to the finalized design for the 4 horsemen in issue #2 of Jack. They are what will bind the entire universe, every motive, every character. They're gonna be like gravity. They're a force of nature. It's what connects everything. So everything will eventually lead back to them or something to do with them. So yeah, he's got to hit a famine slave world to go and snag something for somebody, and it's one of the first times he's ever tried to sneak onto one of those worlds. Basically any of the Horsemen's worlds are hell worlds, except for Death, where it's a dead world, so there's not really anything there. Okay, so yeah, he's talking about famine. Doobie doobie doo. He's pitching how dangerous it is and what he's got to go get. It's a slave world, it's a prison, it's a weapons plant, it's a death camp, and it's a military operation. Yep, that's very much It's very much Famine Inc. Okay. And this is him on his way to that slave world because the Anu, they run blockades everywhere. It's the only thing that stops. It's the line between the civilization of the galaxy and the horsemen's perversions of existence. Um, it's not great because it's a very authoritarian, fascist, racist regime, but it's still better than living under horseman territory. Anywho, this is one of these guys. He's popping out. He's gonna try and cap Coyote, but then suddenly on a Coyote ship, the same dude pops out and then pulls a little trigger. And he pulled the gag. It was a gag manga. Started as a gag manga. So Cactus doesn't shift like this anymore. He doesn't shift into other people. He doesn't shift like this anymore. But it was the original idea. So he had shifted into the guy. They just pulled a joke to scare him back into the thing, and he just whipped himself back together. But that is not how he works anymore. He came up with the coin idea. He came up with the locked forms, and there are beings that can shift like this, but they take a while to be introduced. Let's go here. Ah, you'll see this page is very similar to what actually made it fully into the manga. He pulls some dynamite from Famine with a PH, and yes, there are two different ones. Famine Inc. is the Chinese knockoff of Famine products, but it's also the thing that's actually specifically sticks it to Famine, or Famine Inc. You pronounce it however the hell you want. It really doesn't matter. In alien languages, it really wouldn't matter. It would have a different name in every language. So you guys, pronounce how you want. Famani. I don't know. But yeah, he pulls out some dynamite and he blows up his ship and hides behind a door panel and freaking just explodes to the surface of that famine-controlled world. You'll see that these parts basically made it too. He just kind of had to remaster them a little bit. It looks like this slave world is actually a robot slave world, so these would be sentient AI with organic components so that they would suffer and have to consume. But we'll ignore that for a second while he hits a cactus patch. It's the metal which his namesake comes from and which Jack Iron's clothes and a lot of starships are made out of. It's some fun stuff. He doesn't end up well, but yes, he even kept the gag. He just remastered it a little bit to make it better. Also, this storyboard was more Western reading, if I remember right, than actual committed to the manga reading. But there we go. He turns into his little self. And then we get a little adventure as Tiny Coyote, which is kind of fun in the story. We get introduced to one of the Famine little. It's called Steel Core, which is a military surplus graveyard. So it's just a bunch of aliens and cyborgs and such. All the broken parts they toss everywhere, so they eat and reuse and make themselves. It's a hell world. It's not a place you want to be. So that's what they're doing here. Cactus got a hit. Let's see. Oh, it's this gag. This gag's pretty fun. So he landed just in front of all this. Do not cross the line. Death ahead. Steel core, no trespassing. And you see this tumbleweed, and there's this giant freaking lasers come out and blow it to hell. And then you see this little lizard, and he's chopped into little cubes. Just a little skull there. I guess some frog or something gets blown up there, and boom, landmine. Then yeah, he's not gonna go that way. Oh, I love that stuff. And then yeah, here you go. There's a body processing because there's going to be some that are more organic material than cybernetic also. And yeah, so it's got that death camp kind of feel to it. So no matter what, IronVerse Comics isn't a friendly place. We'll have this silliness. I mean, there's this panel you see Cactus's asshole, his little doggy asshole. But that's the magic. That's the point. And exploring that through these different tones, through these different characters' lenses, is the whole point. Trying to look at this awful because a lot of it's true in its own way. So yeah, and then here's a couple of nicer kind of older robot models, maybe even from they might even be technically aliens. They might have been hijacked from their world and enslaved. But yeah, he's about to be executed. Just tried to execute his buddy there. I guess he's gonna kill another guy. Just probably just cause. Making noise. But yeah, here's a good gag too. This is back when he could. Again, this is when he could really shapeshift. He shapeshifted into the guy's submachine gun. Click click. It didn't work. It's like bang. Click click. He got he banged the hell out of it and knocked him senseless, and then and then Cactus has to talk to the kid and convince him to pretend to play dead when he gets shot. And just the cartoon art style right down there that keeps getting blocked at the bottom with the submachine gun angle in the eyes. Oh, I love it. It's so cornball, so good, so good. Let's see. I guess we've got a few of these, so might as well go through it. It'll probably get me to 8, so that'll work. Here we go. So, click click. So it doesn't work, and he's just like, it's a piece of junk, and he tosses it away, and then poof, and the cat just spits out all the shells that he had to swallow. The robot kid's gone because he wants a lead into the town, so he doesn't get blown up by all that. You saw all the things that chopped up everything. So he's thinking that's his way in, and of course the robot's just freaking out about his dead friend, or dying friend. And then he's got to give up. He's thinking about not being selfish, but of course he's selfish. So he gets all the way over there, and then his paneling and his setup for gags. He knows what he's doing. I love it. And that's he's actually is kind of storyboarding Name the Western comic too, so you'll get a lot of that through Andrea's art as well. And he's real neurotic about what's going into the art and not, which I appreciate, and Andrea doesn't seem to mind, so it's all good. It ends up giving it a really nice personal touch. I really enjoy it. You'll see on the 4 preview pages. I think we're going up to 8 preview pages for the that are already going to be done for the campaign. So we're already going to be about a third, if not a little over a quarter, done with it before we even launch. So I'm hoping that'll also help people. It shouldn't be the same weight. It should be out this year if it gets funded. It should be shipped this year. That's another big thing. Part of what I hope to do with this is that we can get into a better production schedule. Anyway, with the joke, he just hacks up some part needed for the kid, for Grandpa Robot. Oh no, it's not. It's not the thing. No, this is the device. This is the device, the Rick and Morty device that you just saw in the logo, the handheld thing, the unique little tablet majigger with the little antenna. It allows him to gamble and get very special functions, very unique rewards that could save his life or really fuck him up. And that's where his gambling addiction comes in. Is it helps him live and it helps him survive and do crazy, basically magic, out of nowhere. And that's what he's doing. It's just a whole bunch of bad cards, and he's like, aha, garage workshop, and it costs 25,000 fucking credits. And it gives you a license for a use, but he's gonna pay for it. He pays for it. And he's like, I don't want to spend that, and he does it anyway. And then you see all the win gambling, blah blah blah, and then just a bunch of tools and stuff fly out and fix the guy. And then by that point, he's back and recharged. He's been his regular coyote form enough that he can now maintain a more humanoid form. And sneak on into the junkyard slums, try and get into Steel Core. Once you get into Steel Core, there's an awesome freaking kaiju kind of thing that comes up. I'm just going to go through the first storyboard with this for now. But again, $1 and you can see all the rest of our stuff. So yeah, this is going in the house. There's actually a Sporkman action figure in there. It actually got a little bit of there, and I think there's a Jack action figure too somewhere, if I remember right. He snuck in. But yeah, they're talking, trying to figure out a way in. It's less actiony kind of stuff. Yeah, there it is. There's the Jack Irons action figure. Cactus Coyote takes place a good 20 years maybe after the events of at least the first arc of Jack Irons' Steel Cowboy. So Jack's already kind of well known throughout the galaxy instead of just known on Earth. A few things like that. So there's a bit more of a tone shift as well. More of an era of hope. more belief, more anti-Horseman sentiment, things like that than than the first act of Jack's timeline, where it's as bad as it gets. Let's see. I think it's just a little bit more talking. Oh, it starts already. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The first issue, you get to see what I'm talking about. That's kind of cool. First storyboard anyway. There's a big kaiju corpse that kind of just fell. It was teleported by. We wanted to link that to another character of ours, and we might do that. But anyway, he finds it, and he gets an idea of how to. Between the robots and Cactus, they find out. They figure a way to restart this giant cyborg kaiju and use it to smash their way in. Cactus doesn't need to be subtle. He just needs to get his part and get out. And so he's got to go find this specific part and plug it in, if I remember right. See. Yeah, and they're like, oh, but it's impossible. And of course, Cactus Coyote, he can do it. At least that's what he says. And then there's a giant battery. That's it. And so he has to swallow that. Yep, he has to swallow that. And then we get a tease of one of the the head of the junkyard slums brothel, robot brothel. Um, but yeah, I think he's got to take a coin, in this case too, and then swallow it. Yeah, it's a palladium one. So there he goes. he shoves it on down. And then he takes his coin and he eats it, and it compresses the item into him. And as you can see, as he kind of just cut that in to give the idea, because again, it's just a storyboard. And then he's compressed, and now he's kind of he's compression coyote. And that's how we end the first storyboard. If you want to see what happens in the second one, go ahead and check out our Patreon or our Subscribe Star and throw us a buck. We'd much appreciate it. Or just keep waiting. We're not going to stop putting these out, and the Western version of this is probably going to be a bit more eye-catching. But the manga's worth looking at, too. So, let's see. I think that was the last bit. We've got something worked out with this artist to do with the campaign. I'll be excited to talk about when that happens. It's a wonderful piece he did for Cactus Coyote. He really put forward the personality. It's very cool. But with that, let me switch on over here and check out chat. Chat, chittity chat. Not a fan of Rick and Morty, huh? That's fine. The nihilism gets on my nerves. It's the same reason I can't read Nietzsche. If you can't find something to live for, go and off yourself. Otherwise, stop bothering us. That's my point. It's up to each of us to find a purpose, and I don't need to wallow in your lack of purpose. No offense, but I'm so over hearing the word fascist and anything entertainment related. Yeah, well, too bad. They took away the power of that word by trying to make it more powerful. I mean it by death camp, skinning, flaying, hell world fascism. I don't know how else to say it. It's an imposition of will that you cannot deviate for, or you are punished or murdered. If you can come up with a better word than that, brother, please do. But otherwise, that's fascism. Not conservatism, not liberalism, not any of those. No, the definite, finite definition of it. I don't, But that's up to you. You don't have to enjoy that part. I doubt I'll actually use the term fascist within the storyline, because it's not politically based. All of the IronVerse comic books aren't political. They are, if anything, spiritual books. They are philosophical books. They're exploration pieces, and that's how it goes. But yeah, no, that's fair. I am sick of hearing it too, honestly. But because it's misplaced, not because I'm sick of that term defining something awful. That term needs to exist. People need to know it's part of our history and part of our weight and part of what we are capable of. So taking away its power is some of the most disservice you can do humanity. So I'm with you there, but I'm not using it in a way that takes away its power, as you'll probably see as we continue to books. The inspiration comes from the true awful, not the supposed provincial awful that that's out there today. So if the Four Horsemen have always existed and ruled over the galaxy since seemingly forever, how come humanity didn't get pelted almost immediately? Well, issue number 2 of Jack will show you a little bit about that. One of the main advantages that happened on Earth is that we manifested 3 of them in rapid succession, and they hate each other. So they went to war with themselves. So nobody had enough control to really stop a 5th party, the Anu Confederation, from coming in and setting up a reservation and protecting humanity on a small tract of land that's basically the American Southwest. Just walled off, literally like a Great Wall, like Attack on Titan, walled off. Um, so that's why you'll see how that unrolls in Jack number 2. A little bit better, definitely more beautifully. It'll look a lot better than the words I'm using. But yeah, that's why we were saved by the Anu Confederation and by our own tenacity and by the Horsemen's arrogance in trying to kill each other over finishing a job. And that's how the galaxy kind of survived too. Is that they hate each other. There can only be one expression of existence, and each one of them thinks theirs is the only one that matters. So war wants eternal conflict. Death wants total silence and unlife. Famine wants eternal suffering and hunger and toil. And plague wants to form the perfect life form through any means possible. And a lot of that is bacterial or chemical based or cybernetic based. He doesn't care. And he's a very Frankenstein-esque kind of guy. He's not doing it for anything but to create his own expression and make it the ultimate one, just like all of his brothers. Yeah, Gorgonite, for sure. Cactus doesn't need trigger discipline. Who knows what that gun even fires anyway? I have no idea. But yeah, there is somebody in issue number 2 of Jack that should have trigger discipline that doesn't. But I'm not a small fixes editor, which is a problem. But it's not so bad. So we'll see. I do appreciate those small details. I'm not Rags though. It's not. I didn't live trigger discipline for as long as he did, to the point where it would bother me. I 80s cartoons and such. It matters, but it doesn't matter for me so much. And hopefully the readers don't matter. But if it does, we'll take a harder focus on it. It's just you gotta pick and choose where your energy goes, both for the artist and for the creators. And nitpicking small details isn't where I am, unless those small details truly. In that case, I had nothing to do with that piece, also. So I don't know. But yeah, I would like to see more trigger discipline in comics. Definitely, the Rags team is pushing that hard, very hard. And I guess that does do it. 48 minutes, about 50 minutes. If there's any more questions, I'll try and vamp for another 11 or so minutes. But otherwise, I can call it. I appreciate you all being here very much. Thank you so much. Anybody who comes back later and listens to it. I know my ramblings aren't great, but I hope the products will show that I have so much to say about them, and it's kind of hard to pin down what to say, how to pitch, and such. And I think most creators feel that way. Some are just better at it than others. I'm learning. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Don't. But yeah, July 29th, we're launching the Go-Go. The goal's gonna be around where it was the finish for Jack number 2 was. Just logistically, we're going about this one with a lot more knowledge beforehand. Jack 1 and 2, when I went into there, I literally just stuck my head into the hornet's nest and was luckily not bit. But with Cactus Coyote and future releases, we're going in professional, we're going in planned. We know what the numbers are and what we need to accomplish. I was lucky to come out the firing. I ran into a burning building to get to the lake on the other side because I was on fire, and I didn't burn up. Oh, Zero Fox. I answered that way at the beginning about the proofs, which kind of pisses me off that they weren't there today. But tomorrow morning, Zero, or Monday, Sadly, I can't really pick up mail on Sunday unless it's a certain type of mail. So if it's that certain type of mail, it might be Sunday. But and if it's not here by Monday, then I can't say anything else. But some heads are gonna roll. I didn't get the option to. There's things that could have been handled better on my end and on others' ends that need to be ironed out, and they will be. I'll tell you, they will be ironed out because we gotta get a system. We gotta be a machine. We gotta pump these out and get all these wonderful artists work and get I want to get my story out there. I think it has some value to folks down the line. I really do. And thank you all for being here. Zero Fox, of course, is our very talented logo artist, and he did the concept gallery in issue number 2, as well as lining up some of the special pinups that we got in there, and we got a new logo on the cover, kind of new logo. It fits much better with the color palette used on the cover. He did a wonderful job on that. It's got a very old West feeling to it, which is great, but the team's nailed every bit of the art every step of the way. That's why I'm not nitpicky. Even the small things, like there's something on the cover, on both covers, that bugs me. That I think need to stay like that because the imperfections are what will make it unique and kind of magic and stick with people, I think. But yes, I used Iron Out Laguna. Um, fucking Gorgonite. Yeah, I used Ironed Out, kind of in a way, but it works. But yeah, Cactus Coyote, smash or pass. I'm not a furry, bro. Don't ask me. I don't think anybody in IronVerse actually considers that. He does have a romance arc, more so than I think Jack will, surprisingly. But I don't know. We'll see how everything moves forward. I am super excited. The Smasher pass though, I would personally give a pass. He's a wacky fella. He's got a good heart, but yeah. I guess that's where I could leave that, huh? Of course you would, Laguna. Of course. Oh shit. Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. All right, 5 minutes. I can do that. I can do that. I decided not to do drinks tonight. That tends to mess with my sleeping schedule. So that's another reason why the conversations. I don't even know how to define that. Less fluid than usual. But it is what it is. That's why I put maybe in the title. Um, all right, my bot's dropping in something finally. Yeah, go ahead and follow us. Follow me in particular at cowboy_steel on Twitter. We do. Cactus Coyote's actually been gaining quite a bit of steam on Instagram. If you want to follow him there, if you guys do that, it's also at Cactus Coyote on Instagram. He's been working real hard on that hustle, which is great because I don't understand the platform. I understand it a little bit more than Facebook because Facebook's a tough nut to crack. I'll tell you for marketing. Um, Instagram is kind of for me too, but I see what he's doing, and it's at least building awareness very quickly, much quicker than you can on Twitter. So, as a creator, I would recommend you try and hit as many platforms, and just carpet bomb everything. And if people grow sick of you, it's only because you don't have a continuously intriguing product, or you're not presenting it in interesting ways. And that's all you got to do, and you can keep putting the same stuff forward a little bit for a while anyway, and at least get the gas rolling on something, get the motor started and kicking. Um, I think I'm just gonna let you guys get played out on the first Jack Irons tune by Laguna Munta. It's about 3 minutes long, and that'll cover it. Please go follow Laguna Munta on Twitter at Laguna Munta. If you like any of his music, which I played less of than usual on this week, but if you go back to any of my other streams, it's prominently featured. So But anyway, YouTube, Laguna Muta, you can just find his music right there and just go straight to the source. He's got a few wonderful homemade music videos that are really well done. In particular, I like Every Time I Blink. It had a good set piece and a good setup, and the editing's really done. He's got some talent there. But yeah, his music's also available on basically any of your favorite music platforms, digital music platforms. So go and support the artist if you enjoy it. I believe even the Jack tracks will come up here sooner or later, and you can get those from him too, which will be pretty damn cool. Well, anyway, I love you folks. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been Cody Fernandez with IronVerse Comics. I'll see you on that old dusty IronVerse trail. Take care, and again, thank you so much for showing up.